thank you so much for taking time out of your morning to come speak to us. Can you first introduce yourself and what you do here with CURE?
My name is Peter Kyalo. I am, my official title is Vice President Operations. What that means is that I serve 6 hospitals in Africa.
Wow.
So Kenya, Uganda, Malawi, Ethiopia, Niger, and Uganda.
Mm-hmm.
And really just to help the hospitals become efficient, work with people, work with the staff, look at what strategies we need to employ and all that.
Yeah, that's cool. How did you first get involved with CURE?
I got involved with CURE about 20 years ago.
Wow.
And it was really a God thing. When CURE was setting up in 1997, the person who was running the CURE Kenya came and spoke to me and saying that would really like you to join us.
Wow.
And it was at the time when I'd just committed to a new job. I'd gotten promoted and I was looking forward to it. And then he comes and says, look, we're starting this exciting hospital, we'll be treating children with disabilities. Would you like to join us? And I said no. And then he came back again the second time. He said, please just consider this a new opportunity, pray about it. And I was thinking, well, if you invoke the God in the conversation, then I have to take it seriously. So I started praying.
Yeah.
And I took time to actually just pray and fast. Every lunchtime I would go for about a week, so I'd go out into the forest, just talk to God and say, what do you want me to do? And as I continued to pray, it just became clear that that's the direction that God wanted me to take. And I remember the last day, at the end of my fast, I went to my mom's house, and I hadn't even told her that they were considering me for this position. And she asked me if we thought about CURE. That was really the confirmation that I needed, because I hadn't had the conversation with her. I hadn't told her what was going on, and I was just praying.
Mm-hmm.
And so yes, 20 years on, I'm still there.
Wow.
And I've done different things. I've worked in different countries, from exciting countries like Afghanistan, which is interesting, and just helped with everything, from going to the market, helping others, and driving. So I've done everything.
Wow. Wow, that's a pretty amazing story. And the fact that you had the courage to keep saying yes to God is pretty unbelievable. Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, I think over time, as I've grown, I've realized what I do is not important. What is important is obedience. And obedience, it's interesting because God can today tell me, I want you to get out of here and go somewhere else. And my response should be, yes, Lord. Yes, sir. So I figured out, just being obedient is a lot more important. And whatever I do is just really as a result of my obedience to God.
Wow. Wow, yeah. How do you feel like you personally play into CURE's mission to proclaim the kingdom of God and heal the sick?
That's an interesting question, because I do all sorts of different things, sometimes including firing people, and I'm not sure how that glorifies God in some ways, but sometimes you have to get things done. But I think for me, it's just knowing that as an organization, we're healing children. From the cleaner to the CEO, that's who we are. That's what we do. That's in our DNA.
Yeah.
And I remember, I've worked as the executive director in several of the hospitals, and I would tell people, what is important is that we serve God. If you're the cleaner, clean for Jesus. If you're the financial controller, the accountant, do it for Jesus. And to me, that's really my attitude, because whatever I'm doing it so that children can get healing. I'm doing it so that somebody can come to, know Christ.
Wow.
I'm doing it so that I can encourage staff members to see my own life and say, there's something about him that, makes people ask, why do you do, things the way you do them? And I can point them to Jesus.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for your time this morning, and for sharing your wisdom. I look forward to hearing about what you do with Cure in the future. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome, and good to meet you.